Boom. Welcome aboard, man. I got you auto muted.
What's happening, Jonathan? How are you, man?
Hey, there you are. Welcome aboard.
Thanks. I didn't realize that the new thing with Zoom is it pops up and it says like, by continuing this recording, you consent to be recorded or continue this video.
Yeah, it's all like official and serious and shit. Like, oh
that.
God, I'm recording.
I record
folks.
all my Zooms, so it's good to know that like that's what people are seeing now.
Yep. Is your audio input the microphone? It sounds a little far away. Sometimes it'll be tricksy and pick the wrong device.
You feeling better about this? Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you. It's is that a Yeti?
No, I lost you.
Check, mic check. Caribou, everybody, welcome aboard. Please slide all the way into your row. If you have any small children, please seat them. Yeah.
Sound better? Okay.
There we go.
It's the opposite. It's the headphones and the ear. We're getting it.
Got it. Technology's great until it's not.
That's right. Dude, I'm so excited to be joining you today. I'm super pumped up.
Yeah, and glad to have you too. My philosophy is a delightful ignorance so that I can ask you the stupid questions that you get asked all the time to give us some context and then hopefully cover some new ground and whatnot. So first, I always want to make sure that if there's anything that you want me to softball to you, what is it that you would like to highlight? And of course, we'll do the where can people find you? And we'll put that in the show notes thing at the end as well. But if we can highlight any of the stuff that you're working on or any new projects in the course of the conversation, I like to slip that in as naturally as possible.
Cool. Well, a big thing is I just finished writing this book. It came out in February. So it's $1 Million Body Method is the name of the book. That's been kind of like a cornerstone piece for my business. I think it's all the questions that I get asked and have conversations I have every single day, all the time, that I just wrote all up into a book. And it's like, here you go, do this thing. So it's been awesome. I really liked writing it. I've been enjoying having it as a part of the business. So it's the big thing about that is I call it like they have 7 daily investments for your health and fitness. And, it's anything from breakfast, lunch, and dinner to training, to drinking enough water, to writing down your tasks for the following day at night. So just a couple little things like that. I love talking about kind of like simple ways that people can get results without having to like start meal prepping, counting calories, or, training for a marathon. So
right.
That's
right.
Great.
Which my wife has run 11 marathons, and those are all things that she does that are a part of her process, but still looks like a whole ordeal to me. And I'm like, no.
I did one and I'm good. I get it. Yeah. It was really hard and I'm pretty much fine without it.
Right. Awesome. Well, to dig in, introduce yourself. That way we stick the landing and we'll just go right into it.
Okay. Right now?
Yeah, go for it. And also, and I appreciate you coming in a little early. The plate was right up against it. So I've got you until about 5 minutes until the top of next hour. So the rest is, you got my full attention the whole time.
Perfect. How do you want me to start the intro? Just be like, hello, my name's Nate Palmer, or.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Good deal. Hey, my name is Nate Palmer. I am the author of The $1 Million Body Method. I run a podcast called The $1 Million Body, and husband, father of 2 delightful children under 3, and general just guy out here doing stuff. I don't think there's a real designation on that. There's no like letters that go along with like regular guy, but if there were, right. I'd have them.
Got it. So you're making a living being fit. showing people your $1 million body. So
yeah,
walk
sell a lot of belly button pictures. Yeah.
So Instagram is your main hustle. I get it. So walk me through that, because I like to think about meta lessons, and you are running a business doing something that a lot of people do, but haven't figured out how to make money off of it. So walk me through your journey. How'd you get into fitness? Why is it that you care so much about what you look like, and how you making $1 million off that body of yours?
Deep-seated insecurity, mainly. Depending on how deep you want to go, let's just go all the way. We're already here, right? So when I was 11, Jonathan, I was going to school one day, but my mom went and dropped off my sisters at a different school. And so I was kind of at home by myself, getting ready for the day. Someone came and knocked on the door, and I didn't recognize him, so I didn't open the door. He came around back, and my dog was like, "What's up, guy?" And so like, not a great guard dog. And then I hear him coming in, breaks a window, comes in my mom's room on the other side of the house. And I was like, oh shit, like that is not a noise that I should hear from like a repair person, probably, unless he's a window repair person, I guess, but even then. So I grab a steak knife and I go hide under my bed as an 11-year-old and lock my door. And he starts banging on my door. And I'm just in there. I don't know where you're at with profanity, but yeah.
Go for it.
I just shitting my pants, man. Just so scared, you know? And instead of calling the police, I was really scared of getting in trouble too. A lot of fear in those days. But so I called my grandpa, who was like 75 at the time. And he comes over, and by the time that guy leaves, and then he's like, we should probably call the police. The police come. And honestly, man, it was just like my first foray into like fitness and like physical health was like, I don't ever want to be scared again. I don't want to be hurt again. I don't ever want to feel powerless. And I think that was my number one thing starting this off. So I was like, how do I coat myself in a layer of super muscles where no one can ever hurt me again? And that was my start. So I spent like a lot of time like in high school trying to lift and stuff like that. I didn't do it. I did a horrible job. I was like chest and arms, biceps and arms, chest and biceps, abs. Like that was my workout routine. It was terrible. And so in college, I'd always kind of like been into lifting and like doing some little bit of research and stuff. And I was getting a degree in business at University of Arizona, and I could not be bothered to study or do my homework. I just didn't care. But meanwhile, like while I get home, I would just read for hours and hours and hours about physical fitness and like hypertrophy. How do you build muscles and the right kinds of nutrition and stretching and just all sorts of biomechanics and stuff. I just couldn't get enough of it. So I graduated in 2009, and I was like, oh, you know what? Until I figure out like, I don't know if you remember 2009, but not like a huge job market for college students without a ton of experience, strangely enough. So it's like, you know, I'll just get my personal training certification. I've done sales before. It's no problem. So I'll do this until I figure out what I also want to do with my life. And I started working as a personal trainer in a big box gym, trained everybody. And it was fun. I had a great time. I made $18,000 my first year as a trainer, and I was working probably 55 hours a week. So like, you know, just kind of pursuing the dream, no health insurance, just getting after it, like seeing what's out there. And then I was like, well, I need to grow up at some point. So I got a job with a for-profit university where I think their main thing is giving people in majors in crippling student loans. And so I was like, this isn't that much fun for me. I remember day one being like, I hate this. I can't be here anymore. This is going to destroy my soul. So every single day, just like removed a little bit of my soul until I was like, I got some really great advice from a couple of mentors who were like, listen, you need to go do something on your own. You're going to get out of that environment because it's killing you, and you need to start something else. And so I started my own gym at that time. I started kind of working for myself and building up a clientele and pursuing different certifications. And it was so much fun again. It was great to like be back in the driver's seat. And my wife and I, and that's like 2012, we moved to Seattle to get out of Arizona, is where we're from. Changed it up a little bit. And I got a chance to work in an amazing gym out there. Gym was like, it had hundreds of personal trainers, like doctors on staff, physical therapists. It was just like, it was so cool. And one of the things that they were doing at the time was running this program called the 2020 Lifestyles Program, which is like has a 50% success rate in terms of weight loss, which sounds like you're like 50%, like people pay for that? Yeah, because the national average is 5%. 5% rate of weight loss without recidivism, without returning to your original weight or, you know, gaining some plus. So these guys were awesome. And they were addressing it from a holistic perspective, from nutrition to habits, to mindset, to diet, to lifestyle. And I was seeing my clients 2 or 3 times a week. And it was so great. Then 2015 came, and my wife and I sold all of our stuff and moved to South America for a year, just kind of traveling around. Again, just living the dream. I was trying to figure out like what we wanted to do. So I got to be like a tour guide on the Panama Canal. But the whole time I had kind of switched my business to an all online model. And Jonathan, I love training. Like I'm all about like, let's go and let's do bench press and let's work on this. Like, oh yeah, you see here's your lat angle and here's the force curve of this exercise. And like, I love nerding out on that stuff. So I assumed everyone loves nerding out on that stuff, right? So I would just ship off these Excel documents with like, here's your workout, here's your reps, here's your tempo, all that stuff. And I was like, well, why isn't anyone getting great results with this? And so like you have like the two groups of people who love training and liked my style. And then you have people who are like, I thought I was going to do weight loss and this is really hard. And I don't know how to read workouts. So ever since 2015, I've been trying to figure out how to dial in like the stuff that I know about in terms of training, nutrition, biomechanics, and how do I deliver that in a palatable way to people who can receive it? And I think there's a couple different things at play here, but basically I found that I really resonate with people who want to do more. I don't want to talk about how to be less, how to decrease, how to become like a smaller, more petite, like version of yourself. I want to talk about how to become great. I want to talk about improvements. I want to get better every single day. And so if people are on that same vibe with me, then I think that like the book I wrote is perfect for them because it's all about how do you use a nutrition protocol? How do you use your diet, whatever you're eating on a daily basis, to actually pursue greatness in the things that are important? Because at the end of the day, physical fitness is a means to an end. It's not like the end all be all. No one's walking around with abs being like, I'm fulfilled, right? It's just like, now you don't have to think about being overweight. Now you don't have to think about like wearing your shirt at the beach, So at the end of the day, like if you can come home and have energy, instead of like sitting on the couch and watching ESPN for like 30 minutes before you can finally like talk to your family, if you can come home and you're like, what's up kids? Let's go to the backyard, let's play tag. That is such a bigger win than being like, look at these biceps I got. They're so sweet,
Right.
So,
and that's a really good insight because a lot of folks do get fixated on the tool instead of what it is that you can build with it. And fitness is just a good base layer foundation to build other stuff on. So when you were in Panama, how in the world were you staying up with your training? Right? Was the focus on a lot of gym equipment and you need more and more external tools like that? Or was your focus on calisthenics and just doing body weight stuff?
This is the question I did not know that I really wanted you to ask. Super excited because in Panama, we lived on a boat in the middle of the Panama Canal. So like I don't know if you know it familiar with the canal, but they cut it through the middle of Panama. And then they flooded this valley called the Valle Gatun, which is now Lake Gatun, which is the largest, or previously was the largest man-made lake in the world. So you're not allowed to be out there. You're not allowed to be on the islands. You need specific permission from the canal authority to be out there. But the guy we were working for was this Marine from Missouri, Carl Davis. And he's like, you know what he didn't say? He didn't say I couldn't just moor my boat in place. So he literally took a boat, moored it in the middle of the lake, and then started building on it. He had 8 hotel rooms. It was bonkers. This place was absolutely like mind-blowing, indescribable. And I got to be out there every single day, like taking people on tours of the canal and being like, here's a monkey. You want to feed a monkey? And they're like grabbing crocodiles out of the water and stuff like that. All that to say, no equipment really, no gym, and also no like running. So I would swim a lot. I kayaked probably 300 kilometers the whole time I was out there. And then every single day I would hit a TRX workout. So TRX is just those fancy yellow and black straps. So you can do a lot of body weight stuff. So I did that every single day. I was at 4 o'clock. I was like a daily routine. And I just never missed it. I felt great every day because I was always outside, always moving. Kind of hard to replicate in real life.
Right. So you basically went to an absurdist monastery in the most ridiculous place possible and still was able to get your workouts in. And that's another detail that I wanted to zoom in on, which is the excuse that most people use. They either hide behind their family or their work and say, well, I can't take care of me because obligations X, Y, and Z. You're married. How do you fit all of that in your busy modern lifestyle?
For me, I think it comes down to standards. So it's not necessarily like calendar or like scheduling, but it's like I get my workout in every day, period. And that's like, so if that means I stay up, like I do my workout at 9 o'clock, so I couldn't fit it in, I just do it. And I hate it, but I just do it. If it means I have to get up early because I'm planning ahead, I hate it, but I just do it. Oftentimes I like to get in the kind of that 1 o'clock range when the kids go down for a nap. It's kind of like my zone, but like, it's not an option for me. So I don't like, there have been like in the last 3 or 4 years, I've probably missed 4 workouts and had to move them around or got sick or something like that. But it's just, I know what I'm like when I work out and I know what I'm like when I don't work out. And I don't like that. Everything I do is better based on my physical fitness. My nutrition's better, my energy's better, my immune system's better, my mood is better, I'm a better dad, better husband, better business owner. So like for me, it's just like if someone's like, hey, Jonathan, you want to drink this like superpower juice that like makes you feel really awesome all the time? I'd be like, nah, I don't want to have that today. I'm going to skip that today. You know, like, why would you do that to yourself? So I feel like at the end of the day, like I never ended up with like superpower muscles and like feelings of complete like control and domination over everything. Like I originally intended as an 11-year-old, but the lessons I learned along the way were even more valuable than that. And something that I think still is so impactful.
Right. When you were a kid, you had a kid's resolution of understanding what this is. And then as you grow up, you appreciate it in a more realistic way, but it's not like you just gave it up and you're like, well, that was silly. It was more of I recognize that this is a fundamental part of my life and of being able to function at a world-class level.
Totally. Yeah. And also I think like some of the lessons you learn along the way are not related to like physical fitness. It's like consistency and fortitude and mental toughness. And I think like, honestly, the one big lesson that I think weight training teaches you is that there's no losing. There's only like there's winning and there's learning. You know, if you stay at it long enough and you're consistent enough and you don't miss workouts and you don't miss good meals and you get back on the horse when you do fall off, like at the end of the day, you just keep getting better and better and better. There's no like, you screwed up, doesn't work anymore, you lost. You know, so if like Babe Ruth has a quote that I really like, I end my podcast with it. I say like, it's you just can't beat the man who doesn't give up.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So I know the ideal answer to the question I'm about to throw at you is, well, I just don't work with them. But the easy clients, anybody could close the easy clients. And that is a fraction of people who come to you for help. So for the folks that are convinced, I need the lowest reps, I need the most efficient. So if I could do this in my sleep, I want you. How do you walk people through? Look, if your goal is to be a world-class performer and to be able to do things that most people can't, which if you could do one pull-up, you're pretty much in that club. If you at least want to be able to do that, this is what it's really going to take. So walk me through the coaching you do to help people appreciate and understand what it is they're really asking for versus what they think they want and are convinced will work.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great question, man. I think that like there's, you know, because like you said, anyone who can work with like the people who are like, let's go, you got more lunges? Like, what else you got? I'm like, ready to roll. But it's the people who are like, I hate working out. Why do I have to do this? When do I get to go back to eating normally? Like those are people that's like, ooh, like that's like, we have a big mindset issue to kind of overcome to get you to the point where this is even going to be ever sustainable for you. Because if your thought is ever like, how do I get to go back to eating normally? You're not there. You haven't arrived. Even if you're fit, you will never maintain it without changing your mindset. So I think the biggest thing with that is always trying to help people connect. What are their actual goals? Because maybe you don't like working out. Maybe you don't like physical fitness, and that's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. No one ever has to like the gym, but guaranteed you like something. You like spending time with your family. Maybe you like being really financially successful. Maybe you like just feeling good and having energy. Maybe you love focus. Maybe you love reading. Maybe you're a lifelong learner. What are your goals? What are your priorities? And then I go, that's awesome. Do you know what happens if you lift weights for 30 minutes a day? You build neuroplasticity, which allows you to learn better and at a deeper level. Do you know what happens if you go and do just a little bit of cardio a couple times per week? You're going to have more energy. You're going to build your battery. So when you come home from work, you're going to be able to hang out with your kids. Do you know what happens when you do some more stretching and actually go on walks with your family? You build relationships, you burn fat, you help your recovery. So it's like taking what are your goals? What is actually important to you? And let's connect them to something in that like nutrition, fitness, wellness category that you can be like, okay, I'm not doing it for sick bicep curls. I'm not doing this because I love bench pressing. I'm doing this because I need to be the best husband possible. I'm the spearhead of I'm the leader in my business. I need to lead a team. And I think that this is kind of goes from this is how I view things, but also I hope that my clients view it. Cause a lot of people that I work with are entrepreneurs, business owners. But like the standard you set for yourself, I think kind of is like a trickle down, right? No one is going to take stuff more seriously than whoever's at the top. So if your standards are like lax and loosey goosey, then you can't expect anyone else below you to have better standards than you. It's going to be 1% less. So I need to have like super, super high standards for myself, especially in terms of fitness and nutrition. And then I hope that like trickles down to my clients, and they need to have high standards in themselves to set that for their business, for their families, because nobody wants to be told what to do. But you see someone who's killing it, you watch David Goggins go running and you're like, dude, that guy has got it, you know, and it's inspiring.
Exactly. I like the detail about the person at the top of the organization is the highest level of standards, and 1% less is the best it could be at the next level down. Not even a guarantee that it'll stay there, just the best it could be. One thing, I don't remember where I heard it about, like being really fit and buff is one of the only status symbols that you can't buy. I can't pay you. I can't pay you to be buff for me. I have to do it. And that's why it is such a clear indicator of long-term planning, discipline, focus, right? All those things that are required for success. Being able to visualize that in physical form, you're working at the most fundamental level there, and it shows you those paths into business management, into leadership, all the other dimensions.
Totally. And it's not like you can you just get there and you've arrived. It's a work in progress every single day, which I wish it was more like an RPG where you do stuff and you level up your strength, or you're like, you know, your magic spells and you're like, great, I'm level 10. Perfect. What's next thing? But it's not like that. It's like rent is due every single day on that. So
that's really good. Yeah. I spent all my points in verbal influence. That was my skill set. So
with a lot of gold there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's me. I got that $1 million talking points. That's me. So for the folks that want the temporary fix, not realizing that rent is due every day, how have the folks that have done the best job of making that shift, what patterns do you see so that somebody going, oh, okay, I'm kind of there, but I was thinking about quitting anyway, could recognize that they're super close to being able to make that transition?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that people miss out on in terms of like getting in shape is lack of short-term focus and lack of like realizing short-term gains. Everyone wants to like, or for me, I guess to speak for myself, I wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I wanted to be gigantic and muscly and like picking people up all the time. And then like, you know, like being in action movies, like that's what I was looking for. And I didn't realize that like, oh, I was skinny and now I'm like getting a little bit more muscle, and then it's like getting a little bit better and I'm getting more good at like better at push-ups or whatever. But if you can just pick just one or two little things that you can do on a regular basis, whether they're exercise related or diet related, or just something like taking some deep breaths, drinking water, going for a walk after dinner, something like that. And you're like, just all the time, just putting these little deposits in, like to your, like, that's why I call it like, I call the things in my book, the daily investments, because it's all going into a piggy bank of like your health and wellness. And then like, when you do go out and, you know, have 14 White Claws or, you know, whatever, you know, you pull a little out, you withdraw, but then ever go back to just depositing. And all those things, even if they don't feel like it in the moment, like, oh, it's not working, or like, oh, I'm just kind of getting bored of it. Like you wouldn't stop investing in your like 401k because you're like, I don't see anything happening. Like it's a long game. It's a long game with like short term, like every month I deposit, every day I go for a walk. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. So for the tempo, and for you, it's a daily ritual. This is a thing that you do every single day. What about overtraining? Most people that are concerned about overtraining will never, ever even get close to being there. But for the folks who are sitting there going, well, there's no way working out 7 days a week could possibly be good for you. Walk me through how you have enough time to recover, because that's where growth happens, So walk me through your approach to being able to work out 7 days a week.
Totally. Yeah. And I think this is a change and evolved over time as I've gotten a little bit older. When I was in my 20s, I was like, you got to do squats every day. And then people were like, but my back. And I was like, what's wrong with your back? I'm 22. So that wasn't really good. And I got stories about that, unfortunately. But basically, like, it's not as necessarily a train every day, do resistance training every day, lift weights, but it's like move, get out, do something. So I'm probably training 3 or 4 days a week in terms of like going to the gym, lifting weights. But every single night after dinner, like it's a thing. My daughter and I go for a walk, which even if it's just 20 minutes, just to get out, try to get some more steps in. A little bit more sedentary than I've been before. Sit at a computer a lot. On the other days, I'm either going to go for a longer walk. I'm going to take her for a bike ride. I'm going to go out and just do some like jumping jacks, some calisthenics, use the rower. Just like I don't make a big deal about like what the implement is, but I need to move and I need to sweat. And I think those two things are just critical to success. In terms of overtraining though, like, yeah, if you're training 7 days a week, you got a desk job, you haven't worked out since like, rec league softball, like there's a chance that you're maybe not overtraining, but you're under recovering. And I think that in those cases, you need to go back to a focus on what are the recovery pieces, stretching, foam rolling, yoga, eating the right foods, eating enough protein, huge recovery thing. And then I think one of the biggest pieces of recovery, and I think I keep saying this, but going for a walk. Walking is amazing because it's cardio, it's fat burn, it's biomechanically like advantageous. It'll reset your body, your low back. Plus, it's cardio that doesn't cost you. It's cardio that actually builds you up. So it's a deposit rather than a withdrawal. Because even a workout can be a withdrawal a little bit. It's a stressor. It adds a stress. It increases cortisol, and then you need to sleep more to kind of build back up from it. So it's great, important, but is not recovery.
Makes sense. So for the folks that are in a situation where they have this passion, this thing that they're really good at, they might have a day job doing that thing, looking to transition into that freedom lifestyle of being able to be a digital nomad. Walk me through your thinking, and if there was any resistance of, well, I'm really good in person. I'm an in-person trainer because that way I can be there in the moment to help my clients give immediate feedback. This digital thing just wouldn't work. I know that 2020 threw a lot of that out the window, but walk me through where you were before that world was forced on a lot of people.
And have you leveled up your some of your verbal skills? Because your questions are awesome, really good.
There's a reason I'm called the $1 Million Mind Reader. I do own that URL.
Do you really?
1,000%.
Oh, very cool. I got to talk about that a little later. So, like when I first started training, and this is going to sound like egotistical, and I have a bit of an ego, so I have no problem saying it. But I'm an amazing personal trainer. I'm probably top 3% in the entire world as far as personal trainers go. I got a lot of like different skills that make me really, really good at working with a lot of different populations. And I love it. It's so fun. And when I transitioned to online, I tried to take those personal trainer skills and apply them to online coaching. But I realized there was a different animal because here I'm watching your hip angle. I'm watching how your body's moving. I'm watching how you're breathing. I'm just like kind of giving you enough time between sets. I'm pushing you when you need to push. I'm pulling you back when you need to pull back. And it's very like I'm in this with you. We're on a team. With the online coaching, it became more about like, you're here, you'd like to be here. What are the steps you need to take to get those results? Because it's not all about me just being like, let's go do another set, And it's a lot more about like, hey, you had a really rough day at work yesterday and you ate like 16 pieces of cheesecake. What do we need to do today to get back on board and not let that ruin everything? Well, like you're going out to dinner. It's your Aunt Marge's 76th half birthday. Like you're going to be drinking. Obviously everyone knows Aunt Marge. So like, what do we need to do? What kind of strategies do we need to put in place to help you get through something like that? Your family, everyone in your family only eats mac and cheese. That's the only thing they like to eat. So like, how do we make a mac and cheese themed meal that is fitting the macronutrients that you need to be having? So it's a lot more like problem solving, working within parameters, building out little lifestyle pieces, and a lot less like rah, push it.
Yeah,
So
it's
I don't know
amazing
if that
how
sounds.
much, yeah, it's amazing how much that is around the skill that is not the skill. It's phenomenal how you got to zoom out and be like, oh, I got to work around everything else to even get to doing the skill piece and making it work.
And so like, I don't know if we were kind of going in towards like, if you're not in fitness, if you're doing something else that you want to try to transition online, is that a kind of direction you wanted to take this in?
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, that is one of the most powerful tools in the history of humanity is being able to connect with people all over the world instantly. And 2020 did do a good job of wiping out a lot of, well, my job can't be done online. And then 2020 said, well, you either learn or you're going out of business in 4 months. So there's a lot of folks playing catch up and were just forced into eliminating that belief, or they got eliminated from the market, right? So in terms of making it into a business that you're running, what was that transition like? Even with or without the online dimension, it's a lot easier to show up at the job where somebody else is taking all the risk of doing the prospecting and bringing in clients, and all you got to do is show up and execute your calendar. So what was the transition into being 100% responsible for all of your deal flow? Where do you go to find people?
That's a good question. So it's been a long journey. It's been a long 6 years since 2015 when I went 100% online for the first time. And I was sending out Excel documents in constant contact. I was like, man, I'm on the cutting edge right now. And so I've upgraded a lot of systems. I've got some apps that do a lot of the heavy lifting for me. I'm using a better CRM now. But my biggest client acquisition tool is Facebook, a Facebook community called the $1 Million Body Community. So not like if you wanted to join, feel free. I'm not going to sell you anything, but it's where it's where I go and I put my best content out there. And so when people are ready to interact with me or they want more, like it's really easy to get in there. The reason I think that it's been so successful is that I've actually chosen a niche that I vibe with that kind of is me in a way. Like, so first I was like, what's my niche? I was like, it's exercise. And then I was like trying to just work with everybody. I worked with men and women, and older people and younger people. And every day I was writing a new program. And like during 2020, Jonathan, someone was like, hey, I got a big rock in my backyard. It weighs about 28 pounds. And I got like these leather gloves. What can I do for my workout? And I was like writing workouts with that sort of thing. It was just crazy, a lot of work. So I cut it back and I was like, who gets the best results with me? Who do I enjoy working with the most? Who do I vibe with? If like I had a community of 1,000 of these people that I would be having a great day showing up for work every day. And it kind of came down to like, there's like 4 or 5 guys in my life that I'm like, these guys rule. I love working with them. They got the best results working with me. It's so fun to be around them. And they're all entrepreneurs. They're all business owners. And they're all like that striving for more breed. And so I was like, that's who I want to work with. That's who I want to talk to. So when people are like now when people come to me and they're like, hey, I want to do this. I want to train for a half marathon or whatever. I'm like, that's so cool. I'm not the right trainer for you, but like, I got a couple options for you. Yeah, I'll send you, I got someone else. But if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner and you need to lose between like 20 and 50 pounds of fat, like I got you. If you have like 100, 200 pounds to lose, like there are probably better trainers out there, better online coaches, to be totally honest. It's just not it's not the demographic that I work with the most. So it was really like finding that, like the piece of the pie and the people that I love speaking to and then only talking to them. And if you don't like that, like if you don't like me or my vibe and stuff like that, it's totally okay. And getting over that was like a little bit of challenge because I love when I want people to like me and I don't want to offend anyone. But
Right. That is a really important lesson to learn as quickly as possible, which is who to say no to. Because if you don't say no to the people you should be saying no to, you have no time, effort, energy, resources left to be able to work with the people that are ready to say yes and that you should be saying yes to. So it can be kind of unnerving to say no when you want everybody to like you, when you're like, I need every single lead possible. But as quickly as is feasible, it's really important to start saying no to anybody that's not a good fit. but not in the jerk way, but to be able to point them in the right direction is a great way to take care of folks that aren't a good fit.
The first time I ever did 5 figures in a month, I remember like it was July of 2019, my first 10K month. And I had said no to 3 separate clients that month. I had sent out 3 referrals of people who would come to me and said, "Hey, I watched the show. I listened to your podcast. Like, how can I get involved?" And we talked a little bit. And I was like, "Listen, I don't know if this is the right fit for you." And I passed them off to other people. And my wife was kind of like, "You just giving away clients? Like, are you sure that's the right call?" And I was like,
"You know, we have kids, right? We have kids. We have children. We need.
They're very hungry. They only eat organic puffs. It's very expensive." Yeah. So I gave them away, and I was like, you know what? Like, I think that I'm not the right coach for these people. I know I've got some great clients out there that will really vibe with me and get a ton out of working with me, and I'm ready for those people. And I think just having kind of like an abundance mindset and not being like mine, all the clients, was like, I don't know if that like was a correlation, causation, you know, or what, but that was the month I did my best at that time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So walk me through how you think about you. I understand the need for proper framing, branding, storytelling to the marketplace so that your ideal clients can understand who in the world you are and how you can help them. How do you think about yourself? When you think about you, are you thinking coach? Are you thinking business owner? Are you thinking just chill dude who does cool shit? Like what's your framing of, at your heart of hearts, how do you present yourself to the world?
That's a good call. Good question. Yeah, you're killing it today, man. I think of myself, kind of like not a coach, not necessarily a business owner, but like a mentor. I like to come alongside people and be like, look at this path. Like, let me show you, like, let's walk this path together. And kind of take them on a journey. Like I feel like of the hero's journey, I'm always like the old guy with the cane, like, come with me, I'm gonna show you the cave, you know, like, so that's kind of how I see myself. Because I feel like I've learned a lot of lessons. I'm not a smart person, so I've failed and I've screwed up and I've done things wrong so many times. I've got businesses that I've spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours working on that I didn't ask anybody if they wanted to buy my shit. I had a whole website called Grab and Go Workout. I spent 6 months working on it. I wanted to be like the iTunes store of workouts. We just go pay 99 cents, get a workout. 0 purchases, so much effort because I'm dumb. So I want to help people take the right steps and not spend so much time on these lessons, which is why I feel like another thing that I think about myself, and I don't know if this kind of relates to like what box or what category do you put yourself in, but like, I don't think I have a ceiling. I don't think I'm like stoppable. I think that if I want to do something, I will do it because I might not be smart, but I am relentless. So it's going to happen no matter what. And like, it's kind of just now like how to figure out how to do it. And I think I have that attitude about like my own personal like steps and goals. And I also feel that way about my clients. I see their potential and I go, listen, like, I know you had a bad day. I know you didn't sleep very well last night. I know you got a lot going on, but like, let's take this one step together. Just real quick. Just this, all I want you to do right now is just give me 5 push-ups. Get that win real quick. Drink a bunch of water. Let's get some good sleep, you know? So that's
an accountability Sherpa.
I love it.
Awesome. So what are some of the frustrations that the love of your life has given you? Because it's your single-minded focus. It's the one thing you've been doing practically your whole life, and it's provided for you. However, the most glamorous job always has its frustrations and drawbacks, where somebody from the outside would be like, oh man, if I could be you for a day, I'd be happy forever. And then you're like, well, you don't see the way working out looks in the morning. So walk me through some of the challenges that you've got to know that you're still human.
From a physical fitness side personally, or from like building a fitness business side?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole thing.
So from building a fitness business side, like I'll talk about that easy because like that is completely frustrating to me pretty much every single day. I'm running into WordPress problems. I got to update plugins. Like I said, like I got a degree in like barely business. And then I studied for personal training. So all of this like internet, coding, emails, all these things are all like self-taught skills. And then like, there's no one backing me up on this stuff. So like people are like, hey, I want to be like you. I'm like, you want to input numbers into a spreadsheet because you don't know how to write a formula? That's what you want to do? That sounds horrible. And so I just spend all my time like, hunting and pecking for numbers and stuff like that, trying to figure out systems in place where I feel like if I just walked into a business and someone's like, hey, here's the spreadsheet, do it like this. I'd be like, oh yeah. So daily constant of like me being like, how do I do this shit? It's so hard. So that's from a business side of things. So just like trying to figure stuff out on your own is challenging. Like you said, like, where do you go to get clients? What's your client sequence? What, like, once you get them in there, how do you onboard them? What's their first step? How are you going to get them to move the needle in their own life within the first 2 weeks to make sure you retain them? How do you retain them after the 3 months? How do you keep up with them? How do you do it without costing you all your time and energy? So many questions that I've had to like answer over 6 years and I'm still not there yet, but it's, it gets better every day.
It's good to know that it's a daily process. You put a little effort in learning in the bank. Exactly.
From a fitness side of things, like there are a lot of days where I'm like, I do not want to go to the gym right now. I don't want to train legs. I know I have to do squats today. I don't want to do that. That sounds so hard. You know what I'd rather do? Play video games, read a book, play Magnet-Tiles with my kid. Like I'd rather do anything than that. But I just like, for me at that point, it's just like, okay, don't think about it. Just put your shoes on. All right, just go get in the car real quick. All right, just drive down the street, just real quick. Just don't even think about it. Just get, and now you're in the gym parking lot. You should just go inside. So it's like, it's things like that. There's always like the injuries and like the kind of the issues that come up if you've been training a long time. But, like the motivation is not always there. And I'm a highly motivated person in general, and I love fitness. So like, and I don't have it all the time. I would say maybe 50% of the time I'm like, let's go to the gym. And 50% of the time I'm like, So, and I think that like, it just comes down to like, that's a standard I have for myself. And I know if I look back, I'm gonna be like, I'm so glad I prioritized my health in that way for so many years.
Right. When did you know that your wife was a great fit and net benefit to being in your world?
That's a great question. So I met my wife in college, and she was introduced to me. I was at a community college at the time. I came down to see my friend at University of Arizona. And she calls up to her roommate. She goes, "Hey, Lindsay, your fiance's here." I'm 19. And and Lindsay comes down the stairs and she goes, "No, the hell he ain't. That guy, no, not happening." Luckily, she was wrong. So I basically knew like in the first couple of weeks, I was like, this girl rules. I'm not backing off of this one. So
that's awesome. And it was kind of one of those things that working out every day, that was just that was the package deal. If you want to spend time with me, that's a thing that's happening. So it wasn't like come on, why are you doing this so often? What's your deal, man? So what's that tempo like? Is it kind of a shared family thing, or is this your thing? What's the home front look like?
It's kind of my thing. Like I learned early on that like I'm not her trainer. I'm not her coach. And she has questions she can ask me, but I'm not going to push her in anything. I'm not going to say shit about how she looks or you should work on your triceps, honey. No, do not say things like that because nobody asked me. So if she has questions, she knows where I live, so she can find out. But we have a gym in the garage, which has been nice. So we just had our second kid about 3 months ago. So she's kind of starting to get back into working out. But she asked me for some workouts. So I wrote her a couple like 20-minute workouts, some stuff she can do without, like while the kids are down or like in between other stuff, because she doesn't love it either. But she still realizes that it's important. And in terms of like my working out, she will like, if I don't work out for like 2 or 3 days, she's like, get out of this house and don't come back home until you're exercised.
Right.
I just deteriorate fast.
Yep. So walk me through something that you touched on a little earlier, which was your initial goal was to look like Arnold. and just be ripped as all get out, you look like a pretty svelte dude, right? So walk me through the change between I want to be as big as possible and what your current focus is for what you want your body to be, look like, and do. And through that kind of your ideal, then the actual, and then coming to terms that the actual is really better than what I had that cartoonish idea when I was 11 of what I should be.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I originally wanted to be like 300 pounds, 0% body fat, and then like neck tattoos. Like I just wanted to be a scary person. And so like, and that was pretty much like the majority of my life, even up to like pretty recently, I just wanted to build muscle and bulk up. But like a couple of years ago, I started feeling like I got up to about 240 pounds. I'm 6'4". So it was like, that's the largest I'd ever been. And I didn't look any different. I just looked like kind of like a normal guy, just kind of a little bit like people would be like, oh yeah, that guy's skinny. Like, and I was like, man, this is a lot of work. I've eaten a lot of like weird stuff in the name of bulking up that is not necessarily making me like super muscly, like mass guy. So I just kind of realized that like in terms of like my frame and my genetic potential, like without drugs is not Arnold to be fair. But I can't even though I can't, I'll never look like him or any of like the Mr. Olympia guys or like the World's Strongest Men guys. Like I know I can look good. And then more than that, I can feel really good. So I recently lost about 30 pounds, 7% body fat for a photo shoot that I did. And I got down to about 210, 207. And I'm like, I just feel really good right now. My knees feel good because every pound you lose takes about 5 pounds of pressure off your knees and ankles. Like my back's feeling really good. I feel strong. I feel really healthy. I'm sleeping really well. Like, I was like, this is it. This is good. I feel good. I look good. I feel like I look good. Like, what else do I need here? Like, yeah, I could have bigger biceps, but I could also get another tattoo, and that is kind of the same thing. So
it does the same job. That's for sure.
That's right.
So walk me through some of the challenges you've run into, if any, from traditional medicine, and everybody knows this is the right way for healthcare. So do you have any kind of beef with most of the healthcare system or doctors? You're like, no, working out is bad. You need rest. Right. So walk me through any of those wacky conspiracy theories about working out being good for you.
Okay. I got a lot of beef. Not a ton with like modern medicine. When I told you earlier that I trained for a marathon, and my knee had bothered me like the whole time. So I went to the doctor and he was like, discoid meniscus, gonna have to do surgery on it. And I was like, what? I'm 17. I don't know. Like, what is that? And so luckily my mom was like, no, second opinion. And so we go and the lady's like, oh, your IT band's tight. You probably need to get stronger. And like 3 days later, I was like, oh, my knee feels really good again. So like, I definitely reject that everyone needs surgery. Like a lot of times shoulders are especially in guys, everyone's got tears in their shoulders, in their rotator cuff, in their AC joint. Like there's something going on there, but it doesn't even like maybe impact majority of the population. So you'll be like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Maybe it's a tight pec though. Maybe it's something that like a neck spasm, and your doctor will be like, oh, there's a tear. Let's repair the tear. And you fix it. And you're like, well, now it's still not better. So I think that like we still have a ways to go in terms of medicine catching up to like 100% of like soft tissue biomechanics. I think you can fix a lot of stuff with manual therapy, massage, foam rolling, cupping, different like, rolfing, scraping, stuff like that. I think that should be the first line of defense against like injuries, right? You get in a car accident. Yeah, there's other things at stake, but like all these things we like wake up, you're like, wow, why does my back hurt? Why does my shoulder bother me? There's so many different things you can do to facilitate healing that don't involve going under the knife or even going to like get an MRI. In terms of beef though, I got a lot of beef with nutritional conspiracy theorists. And this includes the people who are like, eggs, those are as bad for you as smoking. Potatoes, no nutritional value whatsoever. You got to avoid white carbs. It's the no potato diet. Because people will start to or keto. veganism, like anytime you start demonizing entire food groups, you're like, you don't need carbohydrates. You're talking about 30% of all food on earth, like 97% of everything that we ate before like 100 years ago. We don't need that. Like, what about the time when I want to have a bagel? I don't want to do it without gaining 6 pounds. So I feel like people just get in these like really ridiculous, rigid, dogmatic mindsets about food. This is clean food versus dirty food. I only eat paleo. If a caveman wouldn't eat it, then I'm not eating it. Newsflash, asshole. Caveman, if you gave him a burger, he's going to eat the shit out of that burger, guaranteed. So I have a lot of, and I think that like kind of like flashy headlines, eggs equals smoking. That's like, it gets shareable, right? It gets views. And then I got to deal with that shit for the next 2 years as like Mythbusters. And people are like, what about cholesterol? Have you ever thought about cholesterol? I'm like, it's not the same. So I get a little bit turned up about those sorts of things.
Totally understandable. That's why I wanted to poke that hornet's nest. So you mentioned it earlier on, and you touched on it a couple times. What is it that possessed you to write a book?
Oh, yeah, great question. So this is actually my second book. My first book is called Passport Fitness, and it was all about travels through South America and how to stay in shape when you're on the road. So it's all about like, you're a business traveler, you're kind of a road warrior doing these things. What do you do to stay fit at hotel rooms, on planes, all these things? Surprisingly enough, Jonathan, it did not sell so good in 2020. I don't know why. So anyways, I've been getting a lot of questions about nutrition. So like I said, I'm a huge training geek, but I found that like nutrition is the catalyst that gets people results early and often. And it also keeps them around to actually accomplish the training. What I found is that people would like start off with training. They would be like, and they would just like fall off because training is a little bit of a longer animal. You're not going to see like big time results in 2 weeks. Nutrition, you can though. So I actually like in 2018, I was working with my buddies, the guy who I was telling you about, is a roofer here in Phoenix. And he's like, listen, I don't even want to lose weight. He's like, I don't care. I drink 3 energy drinks in the afternoon and I am dying. He's like, what can you do to help me with my energy? And I was like, great. Like I have an awesome idea for a nutrition plan that basically goes along with your body's like natural circadian and biorhythms. So like blood sugar and insulin is a big thing. Cortisol is a big thing. And then also just like eating the right foods at the right times. So I came up with this diet that was all about eating for energy, eating for performance in your daily life, not for athletic performance. And he was like, all right, great, I'll do this. I'll eat whatever you say. So I was like, you're on the road 5 days a week. Here are the 5 fast food meals you should eat. And so we just like outlined all these things, like little, like easy baby steps. And he's like, I don't care about the weight loss. I just want to feel good. And then a couple of weeks later, he was like, man, my energy's up. My wife says she's noticed a big difference. Oh, and by the way, I'm down 22 pounds in 2 months. And I was like, that we might be actually onto something, because he wasn't even working out at the time. And so I kind of refined that, did a little bit more research into it. And then I had the same conversations about 150 million times, I think, roughly, where I was just talking about how to eat breakfast, or the right thing to eat for lunch. How do you eat dinner? Why do you get to carbs at dinner? Why not at breakfast? Everyone says breakfast is the time for carbs, right? You burn them off during the day. Handling a lot of these kind of like nutritional myths, because like there's a lot of different like methodologies that can work, right? Like I hate keto. I think it's stupid, but it can work. People get results on keto. People get results on a vegan diet. People get results on paleo, or if it fits your macros. So everyone's like, well, doesn't this thing say that you can't do it like that? I'm like, well, just two little different things. So I basically wrote it into a book where it answers all those questions. And also based on the lessons I learned from that first book, which was like, hey, here's some information. Go ahead. This book's a lot like, here's some information. Do this right now. So it's a 28-day plan. And I feel like a lot of people, like especially kind of in the coaching space, write a book that's like a 176-page sales letter. It's like, sign my program. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted I don't know if I'm going to be in fitness forever. I want to leave something with like a lasting legacy, so that someone else who doesn't know me can pick this up on a shelf and go, oh my gosh, this book like totally changed my perception of nutrition and helped me get in charge of my life. So that's why.
I love it. And what is the feedback? Like what do people that pick it up, what are they saying about it?
It's actually been awesome. The number one piece of feedback I get is like I talk to people either after like they'll go through my $1 Million Body program. I do have a program to back it up, but or they read the book and they just follow like this, the steps, the 28-day steps, kind of similar like Whole30 or something. And I go like, how's your diet going? How's it like, what's up? And they go, well, it's not really a diet for me. It's just kind of like how I eat now. I just feel really good. Like, yeah, I lost some weight. I'm like, isn't that like a big deal? Isn't that like cool? They're like, yeah, just, but it's like, hasn't been that hard or anything like that. I'm like, that's awesome. Like that's a huge win. That's what we're looking for. Not hard, easy, sustainable, part of your lifestyle. And you lost weight. Like what else do you want?
That's like me and airplanes. Airplanes are the most amazing, stunning magic that humans have created. And people just go, yeah, you know, they're cool. It's like, no, what? This is
no Wi-Fi
this
on the airplane.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't need milk left? You are 30,000 feet in the sky, bro. You don't need milk.
Yeah, it's amazing. So for making it through 2020, getting your first 5-figure month in 2019, and there is no ceiling, looking to the future, what is it that you are stoked about working on now for the horizon?
Right now, I'm just kind of like, I just want to build out a program that is just like incredibly badass. Like, so I think my program, we're almost there. We're pretty dialed in, but there's a lot of things that I can tighten up and like improve upon. I think both in terms of like my own personal efficiency, where I'm not having to do every single onboarding call or sales call. I think that that's a goal for me from like a business perspective. From like a program side of things, I want to make sure that like when people go through like the training videos and read the handbook and go through this, like they're like, oh, I finally get it. And we're almost there. I've gotten a lot of questions. I do a lot of Q&A. So it's been great to get like, you know, several months, almost a full year's worth of feedback on the specific like style of like eating and working out. And so I think we're so close to having a program that's just dialed in, that creates clarity instead of questions, and that gets results easily without having to have a master's in like nutrition.
Makes sense. And as you continue to build your community, I'm interested to see what you think your secret to building it is. A lot of people start a page, they'll start a group and go, this will be great, like gangbusters. And then a year later, they've got 2 people that have joined and it's their mom and cousin. So what's the secret sauce on building a group or an audience of awesome people that continues to source your creative and business efforts?
Well, I think that I always go back. Everything for me is an analogy about exercise or training. And so I started my group in probably like 2016, 17. And it's trying to like get people to like start doing more like body weight workouts. It's kind of like the premise. It was called Bod in a Box, another product that I created, invented, and marketed without asking anyone first if they wanted it. And like it was okay. And then I kind of changed it to be about a little bit more about like along the lines of like optimizing yourself. And so the group moved into it's called Optimal Self Group. And then the 3rd iteration now is called the $1 Million Body Group. So if you want to join, and the number 8 trainingsystems.com/group will get you there. But now we're 1,500 strong in this group. And then I think there's 2 reasons for it. Number one, I'm a weirdo. I'm a weird person. And I used to like not want to showcase that. Like, I don't know, that joke's a little too out there. I probably shouldn't say it. Now I'm just like, yeah, I like this. That's funny to me. And so people who are like me are like, yeah, that's also funny. People who don't like me are like, that guy sucks. And I'm cool with that. That is so fine for me now. And then, so I try to like, you know, like be myself and have fun, because like for so long, it felt like work to try to like be like, hello and welcome. I'm going to be teaching you today about exercise. So we'll be speaking about push-ups. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to put on loud hip hop music, and I want to probably take my shirt off, and I want to yell. Like that's how this video is going to go. And if you don't like that, you probably should bounce. And then the second thing is like consistency. I've been at this, like I've been on that group every single day for the last 4 years, putting out content, asking questions, engaging with members. I've talked to every single person in that group, send them a message, send them follow-up stuff. I put out trainings once a week that eventually I turned into podcasts. So we just hit our 100th podcast like 3 weeks ago. So that's like 2.5 years down the line. And you know what? No one listened to it at first. I don't think I got a single, like, you know, I got like 30 listens the first like 50 episodes. So I just keep going. I'm not smart enough to stop. So that's my secret, question mark.
I love it. Be dumber. I love it. That'll work. Fantastic. So you've mentioned it before. I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to make sure that we stick this landing. So for the folks that are all about this and going, I do need some more energy because I'm run down by 1 p.m., that kind of thing. And they finally realized, okay, maybe this weirdo is my speed. Where is it that people should go find you?
Awesome question. So the best place to hang out with me is that group, n8trainingsystems.com/group, or you can go to facebook.com/groups/optimal self, because I have the old URL. I'm not changing it. That's my number one place. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram, and Instagram is really just where I just repost my Twitter quotes. So it's probably just better to go there, but N8 training for the most part, like that's where I exist. And you can check out my blog, which has been running since 2011 at n8trainingsystems.com. I thought I was so clever, Jonathan, I was like, Nate, right? N number 8, it's people are going to flip for this. And then now I spend all my time being like, no, it's 8. No, it's like 7, 8. No. Yeah. Just type it in. Not spell it out.
NEIGHT training. I don't, and dash that. Yeah. Brutal, man. Brutal.
Yep. I can't change it now. Too late.
We'll make sure it's spelled properly with proper links. I love hyperlinks. That's one of my favorite inventions in the past 100 years, is the ability to have information directly link to other information with a click. It's just
to type it out there. Like you just put a bit.ly link in there. I don't even have to know what those symbols mean.
Best things ever. I love it.
Redirection links though. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have a redirection plugin on my website. I use that thing all the time. I love it so much. That makes me feel like a genius.
Yep. So you've got the easy to understand, and then it goes to the ugly. It needs to be this way. It's perfect. So yeah, you've done your homework. You know what you're doing.
Just trial and error, baby.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much for being on, sharing your energy, your excitement. It's exactly what I was hoping for.
Awesome. I'm glad that came through. I was pretty excited to be on the show today.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll call that a stuck landing. And this is like my third podcast. First one was A Life Well Designed, and nobody was like, I don't like design. It's like, fuck, okay. And then I had Mind Reader University for about 40 episodes, and the Mind Reader was too distracting to people. They're like, wait a minute, you're a mind reader? Let's talk about that instead of how you can help me. I was like, fuck. So that's why this is Elite University. It's like, here's how to be world class at being you. It's like, I've traveled the world doing what it is that I do. You've been able to create a whole life doing what you do. Let's talk to cool ass people about being fucking awesome instead of, I'm a mind reader. Let's talk about that. It's like, ugh. So this is my first round, and then I'll launch with several all at once. Just got married, about to move. So life is getting in the way of the fun project. So I'll give you a heads up. You won't be able to miss it when I make it go live for you.
No stress. And congratulations on the marriage. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. She is a lucky woman. And I hope I said that loud enough she could hear it.
No question. She's got good taste.
I think awesome, so brother. Too.
Thank you so much. Is there anything I can do to help you out, or like any specific guests that you're looking for that you want to connect with? Anyone that you want to be on their podcast type of situation?
I am a fascinating conversationalist. I do have some really weird stories myself, so I'll take you up on that, and I'll think about it and get back to you for sure.
And I kind of have my podcast. I call it like the intersection of fitness and or physical and financial success. But I also just love talking to like interesting, awesome ass people. So if you want to come on that, I would love to have the turntables and ask you a bunch of questions.
Hell yeah. Because I once ran 2 miles in 12 minutes, ran 36 miles in an afternoon because let's go to the town over there. I got married the first time, got fat, got divorced, got fatter, destroyed my 20s, and I'm getting back into it. So I got a lot of fun to share with you.
Awesome. And you're 3 podcasts deep now, so
Absolutely.
I'm sure you got some advice for us then.
Oh yeah. I've been on over 100 podcasts. And there's always something fun and new to talk about. So yeah, dude, you won't be able to get rid of me. I'll definitely follow up with you.
That's my favorite. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time today, brother. I really appreciate it. Great to talk to you.
Likewise. All right. Catch you later. Yeah. Bye.